Hey everybody, welcome. We're back. I'm back. Welcome to Malika Talks. Just gonna wait for a couple more followers. Today has been, hi Alex. Okay, so we are ready. Welcome to Malika Talks. Today is gonna be an amazing show. Let me bring in today's special guest. Send her a request. Okay, this is... Did I do this right, Alex?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm not bad. You know what? I am hot is what I am. Let me open my window quickly.
Mate, I might need to get my fan. Let me...
Just before we start.
Okay. Not to be extra, I've got two. I have like a hand one.
You extra.
Or I have my little electrical one, but I don't know. It might be too noisy for the chat. So y'all are going to have to let me know because...
Hey, Roberto. Hey, brain buddies.
It's really hot. I literally look like I'm naked. Let me pull my top up. So, I love her new song as well. I was listening to it earlier.
Oh, thank you.
Hopefully nobody rings me.
I know, I was thinking the same thing.
But yeah, let's get to it. How are you, my love? Can you guys hear? Can you hear the fan?
No.
No, you can't. Okay, cool. How have you been?
Yeah, good. Really good, actually. Although somebody asked me today, I was in a session earlier on, and they said, "How are you anyway?" And I said, I'm great, but I slightly feel like too little butter spread over too much toast. If you know.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, not
totally.
enough butter. There's a lot of toast. I need more days in the week is what I need right now.
Honestly, I feel like time is running at the moment. I can't explain it, but like I really just feel like there's no time to do anything right now.
I think just time is in a time warp. Like we've gone from lockdown into semi-lockdown into about to come back into the world, and it's all just a little bit. It's a lot for your senses.
Yeah, but that must be quite exciting though. Or I mean, I know that I find it exciting, so it must be exciting for you too, right?
What is exciting? Not knowing what time of day. It's exciting. It's definitely exciting. Whether it's good is another thing.
No, cheeky. I mean, being like the world opening back up, like with all of the stuff that you're doing, you've put out like 3 songs in the last 6 months, I think, through Ultra, right? Yeah. So, like in the normal world, you probably would have been out in the clubs at festivals and stuff. Being able to like get back out and perform over the summer. Are you doing a lot of performing?
Yeah, I'm doing a few bits, and I'm also DJing, which is great, and which I'm really looking forward to because I've never sort of DJed in the sort of bigger arenas, so I'm excited to be doing that. And got a festival in September as well. Going to be up in Liverpool next month, and then the month after. Yeah, so I can't remember where else off the top of my head, but yeah, I'm definitely excited to be getting back out and just having that connection with people who are there to enjoy the music. There's been such a distance between. All you really have is kind of your Instagram and your social media to get responses from people and to see how the tracks are reacting, and on the radio obviously, but to physically share space and feel that palpable everybody is enjoying this moment together, that is, I feel emotional.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like it's just, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I went to meet a friend of mine who's a drummer. He played some live drums on one of my tunes, and he was doing a rehearsal for this live show, and I literally went there to pick up like the drums on a stick and to like go home, and I ended up staying and watching the whole rehearsal and watching. There was something amazing. They were just like rehearsing. You know what rehearsals are like, but there was something so amazing about being in the room with live music and watching the artists interact with the band, and I was just like
It's a different experience altogether, isn't it? You physically can feel it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we have lots to talk about.
Sure.
So much to talk about. Let me pull up my notes. No, see, this is life. This is my life. Let me pull up. Oh my days. Okay, give me a second.
You're currently in my plant pot, so don't worry about it. You're being held up by a plant.
Mate, if you ever know what the last 15 minutes of my life were like before this live started,
I can imagine.
Also, Alex, it really was a joke. It really was.
Life is.
Okay, so while I pull them up there.
Thank you, Johnny Bridge. Thank you.
What did they say?
They said you're beautiful.
You're so lovely. And
how are you?
I'm
Don't
good.
stop.
Do you know what, guys? Put questions. If you put questions in the chat as well, because I know like some of my other chats, as we've been talking and as things have developed, people have like put questions in the chat, and then we've been able to answer them and stuff. And I think especially what I really wanted to talk to you about was your journey with fibroids and that experience as a Black woman, and you know your experience through the NHS, and just that experience as a female, right? It's a very important conversation, and I hope that people do tune in, and I hope that they do, you know, get to see this one, because I as much as I love you, and I know that we can have like a really fun conversation, I think that that is, maybe that's where we should start.
Yeah, sure. I am. You know, that was kind of the opening intention when you gave me a call to sort of to have a chat, was to jump into that discussion. So yeah, you know, I'm happy to jump into it. But ask away. What do you want to know?
Okay,
and hi, twin.
Oh yeah, hey twin. Hey. Okay, so for those who don't know, Alex and I, we met a few weeks ago. We were working together in the studio, writing for another artist and their projects. And then we started following each other, and I was stalking her page and I saw that she'd written this amazing post about her experience having gone, having had fibroids, having had your operation. And it was, I just felt connected to it. I was like, this is so amazing. And then obviously I called you, and you and I had a conversation about it, and then that even transpired that you were like a month out of surgery, was it?
Yeah, when less than that. I think it was like, yeah, but yeah, it was about a month actually. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I mean, but it wasn't long. And I was just like, even that is crazy that you've had to like come back into work. And I don't know if it was partly because, you know, as a self-employed person, we don't get sick days or we don't get days off. If it was because you just wanted to be back to work, and I don't mean with the artist that we were working with specifically, I just mean just to give you something to do, or if it was like being an artist and having to work. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people, there's loads to unpack there, but
do you know, that was the first session back, actually. That was the first session back. And when I'd spoken to the doctors, and they kind of give you a rough overview of how long it takes for you to sort of recover enough to get back to work. And it was 3 weeks, but everybody's different. And my surgery was like, I had a particularly large one. It was like, gross. Okay, but initially they told me that they were going to have to cut me down the middle. So like, I thought I was going to have an incision from like just under my breasts all the way down my stomach for them to take it out, because mine was, it's called a pedunculated fibroid. For anybody who doesn't know what a fibroid is, it's a benign tumor. And they're really, really common, actually. Since making that post, so many people have got at me and said, oh my God, I've had them, my mum's got them, my sister's got them. I was so sort of surprised as to how many people have actually had them. But yeah, I thought I was going to have a really huge incision down the middle. Thankfully, when I woke up and I was like, where is it? Where's my scar? They managed to do it on my bikini line. So it was a big incision, but it's now that way as opposed to that way. And it did, after I had the surgery, well, no, when I went in to have the surgery, they gave me what they give women who are about to give birth, which is called an epidural.
Oh.
Where they, yeah.
How was that?
They injected a very large needle into my spine. So you have to sit like that, very still, and they inject a very large needle into your spine. And I mean, that's frightening enough, because if you move an inch any way, I mean, the way that they're so extra, like, seriously, do not move.
Yeah.
You know, it can paralyze you. So they did that. And but then
how was that? Because I've not had kids yet, right? But that is one thing that like really scares me, because like I just, how painful was it on a scale of 1 to 10?
That, what, the needle?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't painful at all. It's more just frightening of like, am I gonna wake up and be paralyzed and not ever be able to use my legs again?
Okay,
that's scary. They put some numbing spray on it, so you don't. I think you're more concerned with what's about to happen than the fact that you're gonna get jumped with a needle.
Cool. Okay.
But when they put that in, I think they must have put too much in, because I was like, whoa, I can't breathe. This is too much. And started sort of freaking out. So that was kind of my last experience of before I literally fell asleep, was kind of in terror that I couldn't breathe. Anyway, when I woke up, and I couldn't feel my legs for like, I don't know, maybe like just under 48 hours.
Oh, wow.
Which was just weird, just really, it was trippy, just really, really strange. But yeah, really, really grateful that they gave me the, is it vertical? The horizontal incision instead of the vertical one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what was going on about there, but
no, it's just, do you know what it is? It's I'm sure it's such a journey. Just some of the research that I've seen is that Black women, what is your exact heritage? Are you like a light-skinned Black person, or are you mixed race?
I'm mixed race.
Okay.
My dad is from St. Kitts in the Caribbean, and my mum is from Scotland, so they couldn't be further apart. Very hot, very cold.
Okay, cool. Because I think that's even another thing. Like Black people come in so many different shades. Like you literally could just be fully Black and
and light
as you, or do you know what I mean? So it literally does vary. But yeah, I think that like the experience for you, like, or that experience must have been like, was it scary? Like, how did you? Yeah, what was the point?
What do you mean? Are you talking about? Are you referring to ethnicity in that respect, or are you just talking about, was the whole experience scary?
No, sorry, the experience of the fibroids. Sorry, being Black is that's something else. So, like, I mean, we can even talk about that. Like today.
I mean, I thought you were going to touch on the fact that it is disproportionately.
Yes.
You're more likely to have it if you are a person of color. Which is crazy. I was trying to find, like, I mean, throughout sort of doing research throughout like the 1.5 to 2 years that I even had it before I even had the operation, as to why that is. And there's not really much known as to why. I think it's like Black women are 3 times more likely to get them in their lifetime, mostly in childbearing years, and then even later on. But why it is that women of color are more likely to get them, and there isn't really, there's no knowledge on it really. Nobody really knows. FKA Twigs, who's also have fibroids, she also said that she considered perhaps it's like ancestral trauma. You know, I mean, again, when there's no sort of answers for stuff, but again, I think they have to do more research, particularly on Black women, in order to get enough information. I don't think that there's enough research done on fibroids as it is, and particularly not on fibroids within the Black community. So
what I did find was that it possibly could be to do with lack of vitamin D in women of color. So there's that explanation. There was also
but women of color, I mean, historically come from places where there's plenty of vitamin D. I wondered about that, because I saw that as well, but seemingly there's as many women in Africa who get fibroids as well.
Right. Okay. I didn't see that, but okay. Fine. So that's what my doctor said. I did see that. I also saw that it takes, I think, Black women between like 4.5 years to be diagnosed and treated, as opposed to white women it's sort of 3.5 years, which may not seem like a big difference, but in the grand scheme of things, of course it is. And of course it can be. I also found that people who use like permanent products, which really, really concerned me, because I think a lot of black women go through a phase of like perming their hair and stuff. Like, even if I know a lot of black girls are on like their braids or their natural hair journey or whatever, but you know, even me, like I permed my hair at least once this year, and I have heard over the years that there are
chemicals within the products that we use on our hair. I've definitely heard that. That would make a lot more sense, actually.
Absolutely.
That would make, because that stuff, you know, when you are burning out your scalp, dyeing your hair on a reg, that shit stinks. I'm sorry. It does not smell healthy, and when you're doing it regularly, that's going into your body. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I've read up a lot about, you know, how to, like, what's the cause of them, and again, there's not a lot known, but the sort of like more holistic approaches say even stuff like this, plastic bottles, all the bits of plastic that are going into your body, red meat, you know, meat full stop. But then there's people who have gone completely vegan and they've got them again. So I think everybody's different. Everyone's an individual, and you kind of have to see what works for you. When I was listening to FKA Twigs doing hers, actually, she said that she'd got hers taken out. Hers was like an entire fruit bowl. Mine was just one large one, where she had a couple. And hers were really painful. Mine didn't cause me any pain. It was just more discomfort. But yeah, when she got hers taken out and she went to go and have her checkup, they'd started growing back again. And that's only a matter of a few months. But that at that point, she decided, right now, I'm not even just being a pescatarian, I'm being a full-on vegan, and I'm taking these herbs. And so I need to actually try and find a way to get at her. If anybody in the chat knows FKA Twigs, tell her bell me. You want to know what herb she used.
Listen, that's how people get connected. You stay there. So
for real.
Have you changed your diet, or has it made you change your diet, or what lifestyle adjustments have you made?
Well, since I even got them, because I had it like for a while before even wanting to get surgery, because agreeing to have surgery is not a small thing, you know what I mean, especially not something that's so invasive and around your womb. And so instead of choosing the surgery option, I thought, let me just try and change my lifestyle, because they can actually shrink, but I think once they're past a certain point, they're not shrinking. They're just there's the beast of eternal beasts that just will not relent. So I basically started working out more. I exercise like 3 times a week, and I don't eat red meat. I do eat fish, and I do eat chicken. Again, I'm gonna have to wait till I go back to my my next checkup to actually see, but fingers crossed they wouldn't have. And a lot of times, you know, they don't grow back for women, but sometimes they do. And I guess if I go back and they say that they have started to reappear, then it's rabbit food for me.
Wow. And what made you even first go and get checked out, or like what was your journey like to even operation or being diagnosed?
Well, I had what would you call it? I had a coil.
Okay.
Listen, I'm a very honest person. I don't give a shit. I'm an honest person.
Disclaimer: anything you don't want to say, I
don't care. I'm not bothered. I don't give a shit. Listen, women, you've got to, you know, safe sex. And I wasn't trying to get pregnant. I wasn't trying to get pregnant. So I had a coil, and I went to go and take it out. And when I went to go and take it out, they said, "Oh my God, you've got a fibroid. You've got very large." In fact, the woman went, "Whoa, you've got a large fibroid." And I thought, that is so fucking unprofessional. That is like the most unprofessional shit I've ever seen in my entire life. But yeah, so she said that, and I went to go get it checked out, and yeah, it just the whole nightmare began from there, really. But yeah, safe sex, people, practice safe sex.
Absolutely. And did it
you're not ready for me. I don't care.
I'm not, but you know what, that's why I messaged you and I was like, I'm really looking forward to this chat, because I already know it's gonna happen at this moment, so I'm just like,
There's
whatever.
not many films.
Exactly. Did you, like, how long did it take from diagnosis to surgery?
Well, again, it took about 1.5 years, if not 2 years, because they diagnosed it, but I didn't want to have surgery, so I really opted out of going that route, and hence why the lifestyle changes, which have definitely helped, and I'm hoping that, you know, that's with those continuing, that it's going to kind of stove them off, is that the right word? Keep them at bay. So yeah.
And are you scared?
It was like 1.5 to 2 years.
Are you scared they're gonna come back? Like,
shit scared, terrified. I mean, again, like I said, for other people, they can be really painful. Again, FKA Twig said that because she's quite thin, like you can see them. You could see hers. I mean, you could see mine. If you look back on other stuff that I've worn in like shoots or stuff like that, I'm wearing baggy clothes because, like, you know, it's so bizarre actually when I got it out. Having had it for so long, it's like, wow, that's my body back. You get so used to looking a certain way and thinking, I'm not losing weight, and do you know what I mean? Like, and it's not shrinking, and then when it gets taken out, you're like, wow, it's a completely different body.
Did you did you get to see it? Did they show it to you after?
No, but I asked the woman to show me a picture, and I showed it to my ex-boyfriend actually, and he's such an arsehole. It's just a picture. He sent it back with some lips and eyes on it. You have to make life.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, it wasn't. Elvis was butters. Yeah, it was definitely. It wasn't a pretty sight, but you know, again, if talking about it, it's real. It happens. You know what I mean? You know, there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's plenty of women who it's happened to, and it's unpleasant for sure. But you know, I found and Andrea Triana who had it as well. She's also a musician. I found those women talking about it so helpful. And again, there are so many people who are suffering with them. And I definitely did put it off, not just because I was scared, but because I didn't have time. You know, I mean, it wasn't causing me that much pain. It was uncomfortable. I didn't have time to be taking time off. You know, I'm trying, you know, you work in the music industry too. It's a non-stop hustle. So, you know, yeah, I didn't want to take time off.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, you know, 9 times out of 10, that is the worst thing. It's the working in music and allowing yourself time to relax and to take time off. And so many people I've heard like 3 or 4 different like podcasts and like interview things this week, literally, that have been like, oh yeah, like when I get into bed at night, I can't switch my brain off. And I don't know if that's being an adult or if that's working in entertainment and in music and running your own business, and just there's just so much stuff to do constantly.
Well, we use that as well as such a sort of an accolade. Look at me, I'm working myself into the ground. Aren't I good? Do you know what I mean? Aren't I winning at life? And it's like, but is that really winning? Is that? Do you know what I mean? Like, then actually having a balance is more important. Saying no is you know, looking after yourself is important, and prioritizing that, because you know, if you don't, you'll be working on your illness, you know.
But you know what it's like, I think it's the balance of like life is trying to find balance. I actually think that's the key to life, just trying to find balance overall in your friendships and your relationships and work and whatever. But also it's like, yeah, oh look at me, I'm working so hard and like kind of killing myself. But then there's also the massive guilt of taking time off. Like you're seeing your peer, like you'll literally be working really hard on a project that you know is coming out, and then you'll see one of your peers come out like tomorrow's Friday, new music drops, and it's just like, I'm not doing anything with my life. Do you know? And it's just like, but you are, there's just that guilt. So how do you balance that? Because I really struggle to balance that. So how do you balance that?
Well, I've definitely felt that at times, and I definitely still do at times. But do you know what? Because I've had moments where I've been doing lots and then not doing lots, and then doing lots and then not doing lots. And obviously you see your peers doing bits and that. You know what I often say to myself? It's just not your time, babe. Not every time has to be your time.
Absolutely.
Sometimes sit this one out. Do you know what I mean? Like, and when it's time for you, it will be time for you. Maybe this is time for you to just chill your beans, regroup. You know what I mean? But make sure you're getting your ideas down and getting your brain in check and your stars aligned. And then when it's your time, it will be your time. I think sort of worrying too much about, shit, I need to be doing this and I need to be doing that. I mean, I like to be working anyway because I enjoy being creative, and I get bored. Do you know what I mean? Like, but in terms of chasing, yeah, I'm a bit more at peace with it now. Do you know what I mean? That not everything is for you all the time.
Yeah. And I think that comes with experience, and that comes.
Hi,
with,
Jess. Sorry.
That comes with. It's okay. Can you press the wave button? Can you wave?
Me?
Yeah, on the screen, or is it just me? Sometimes
I think it's just you.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, if there's anyone you want me to wave at, let me know. But I'm scared because we'll probably
sorry.
Probably topple down again.
Sorry. Yeah, no, it's all good.
But what was I gonna say? I've totally forgotten now.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's no problem. Just like what's for you is for you, and it comes with experience, right? Cool. So it comes with experience and it comes with working. I think something happened to me probably about a year and a half ago in music that made me realize, sorry, somebody's dog is just barking really loud. I don't know if you can hear it. Made me realize that yes, everything isn't for you. It's okay to say no to stuff. It's okay to like stand up for yourself and do you know what I mean? But I had to go out. Yeah, and take time out. But I had to go through an experience. So it's just like nobody owns my voice but me. Do you know what I mean? And how it's distributed and what things I sing on and whatever. And like there's always going to be another opportunity. And not in terms of it being like egotistical, like, oh my name. No. But just like if I can't physically do this right now, or if this isn't the right thing for me and my brand and what it is that I'm trying to build and create, then it's okay to say no. It doesn't make me a bad person. Do you know what I mean? There's always going to be somebody who needs somebody. I'm always going to be available to work, but this just isn't for me.
Yeah. And it can be scary, you know, because I guess within this industry, all it takes is one. All it takes is one bad boy hit record for you to get that big yard or that big whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like for all those years of hard work and graft, just to have that little pat on your head, you did it. You know, it was all worth the struggle. And you don't want to miss out on those opportunities that could potentially be life changing. So it's understandable to have like FOMO, but I guess when something does put you on your ass, like getting ill, you realize it's not within your control. You know what I mean? Like there's probably been untold moments where we don't even know about, that we're unaware of, that have completely passed us by, that could have made us millionaires. But we don't know. We just got to be grateful for what you do have and keep it moving.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I mean, how long has your career been in music? Like I don't like it's been long. Let's not even. It's fine. So you were on the Jonto album with Basement Jaxx, were you?
Yes. Yeah.
What song did you do?
What's the News?
Oh, because
it's called What's the News.
I was on that album as well.
What?
I did We Are Not Alone.
Okay, sick. Nice.
Yeah. So how did you meet Basement Jaxx? I'll tell you how I met them after, but
it's a funny story actually. I was doing at the time I was doing just more acoustic music. And house was kind of, one second, let me just plug this in properly because this sorry, apologies. I was doing more acoustic music, and but I wanted to do some funky house stuff because funky house was popping at the time.
Okay.
And so, yeah, and so I made up a pseudonym. I made up a name, Mia Mendez, and it was with my my friend at the time. He was called Enrique Benitez. We just made up these fake names and put out a song called Cooking. And it was like a sort of like funky tea and looking, what I've been cooking. And it actually popped off, like,
Yeah.
you know, not massive, but it did a few bits. And I made a Facebook account for it, and I just left it for, there was only the one song that we did. And then, I don't know, about like 6 months later, I went back in there, and Felix from Basement Jaxx had said, I love this song. Oh my God, hi Mia. And I was like, oh God. He said, would you want to come down to the studio? I was like, sure. So I went down to the studio. My man called me Mia for about 3 sessions until I was like, my name's actually Alex. Yeah. Yeah, and so I was working with them ages ago, and I just kind of get going in and doing sessions with them. So I've done quite a few tracks with them, but it was much later that we did What's the News that ended up going on Junto.
Yeah, because they take like really big breaks between their albums, like really big breaks. Because how I met them was like, I was in uni and I was just like, I'm gonna look for record companies online and send them my music. And I googled them. First person that came up was like Basement Records. So I sent them some stuff, and I used to send it as like my mum, like, oh hi, I'm Malika. Like I would use my mum's name. It would be like, from Debbie.
Bless you. Do you know what? I love that initiative though.
But no, not like she was my mum, just like she was my man. Like, oh hi, Malika's man.
Yeah. No, I know. That's what I mean. I think that's it.
Thanks. So anyway, so I sent it, and Simon. Actually, no, I got their telephone number, and I called them as Debbie. Called up, called them. Hi, I'm Debbie. I'm calling about my artist. Spoke to Simon. There's 2 guys in Basement Jaxx, Felix and Simon. Spoke to Simon, and then I emailed and sent over my music. And Simon was like, I love this. Again, do you want to come down to the studio? Went down to the studio in Brixton, and it was just like, I remember sitting there looking around and seeing like their Grammy nomination certificate, and I'm just like, I'm really like 19 or 20 in the Basement Jaxx.
Did you not know who they were at the time? Oh, yeah, you did.
Basement Jaxx.
All right, okay. I was gonna say.
Yeah, no. But when I called them, I didn't know it was Basement Jaxx. I just was like Basement Records, like, do you know what I mean? But when I finally got there, I was like, no, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I hit the jackpot here.
Honestly.
Wow.
It was, oh wait, what did someone say? Went to student, and they're like, where's Debbie? Basically. Hi. Hi. But yeah, so, and I remember that was like probably one of my most standout sessions as well with them, because you know what, Felix, like Felix is really big and loud and eccentric, and Simon's really quiet, right?
Yeah,
and just like kind of in the back, just you'd think he was like the coffee guy or the engineer if you didn't know better, kind of thing. And I remember being in the studio, and Felix like jumped. Did you go to the Brixton studio?
I went to the Brixton one, and I went to the yard
in King's Cross. Oh, you've frozen. She's frozen.
Oh, you frozen as well. Oh yeah, you're there. Yeah, you're back now. Yeah.
Say again.
I said I went to the one in Brixton and the one at Tile Yard.
Oh, okay, cool. I went to both as well. But when we did the Brixton one, so you know, like the booth that was like in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
Felix was like jumping up in the like glass, and he was like, be like, ooh, ooh, and I'd be like, ooh.
I was literally gonna say that to you. That's what he does this thing. He goes, can you sing them all like, oh, can you?
Honestly,
what does that mean?
Madness. It was
madness. Absolute. Yeah.
Just madness.
But lovely, and definitely one of the more interesting experiences recording.
No, absolutely. And I think for me, like at that age, even though like my dad has had a studio and I've literally grown up since I was like 5 in the studio. So being in the studio was not new to me, but that experience was completely different. But then it's funny now, like when I listen to their music and I can hear like little BVs and little things in the back.
Yeah, it makes complete sense.
Honestly,
Yeah, that's a genius. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely genius. They're amazing guys, and I was lucky enough to be on 2 of their albums actually.
Amazing,
So
big
yeah.
up.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, when I saw you were on Junto, I don't even know, is that how you say it? Junto?
Junto, I think. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look at us being artists on tracks, and we have no idea how it's pronounced. How did you begin your career in music?
Well, again, the similar sort of thing where I was at university, and just made use of the facilities. My first ever release was like a drum and bass track. So it was a couple of boys that I met at university. And we just made the track using the facilities at the university, and it ended up being on Andy C's compilation album. I'm sure they got paid for it, but I hadn't seen a penny. It's like, but you gotta earn your stripes. That was definitely strike one. But
how many stripes? How many music industry stripes are you in now?
Oh mate, I too many to. I'm a zebra. I've just got. Bare stripes, but yeah, yeah, you know, it's part of the game, and you live and you learn. Yeah, I almost kind of feel like people who've come in and not had any knocks and, you know, chunks taken out of them, that it's kind of really, it's coming. It's coming.
You know what? It's so funny that you say that, because I saw an interview with Usher, and he said he's had more failures than he's had success.
That would make sense. Yeah, I mean, people see, obviously, depending on when they come into your journey, they see, if somebody just came and discovered my music now, it would look, you know, plain sailing, all roses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
God, the amount of backies, you know, I mean, but I think it's a good and you know, an important thing to have. So you develop a bit more of a thick skin and not take it so personally.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know what I'm like when somebody sends me a beat. If it's not something I like, I always have manners and I always treat people with respect. It's just, you know, it's not for me, but thank you very much. And I hope you find someone, a killer top line or what have you. You know, but not everything has to be for everybody. And, you know, as long as you treat people's hearts and work kindly, then, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's just, I mean, to hear somebody like Usher say, I've had more failures than I've had success. Like, he's had crazy success from like the age of 15, 16 kind of thing. So like I mean, but you are right. I think a lot of this is like not taking it personally, persevering. When people email me, I genuinely try and respond to like everybody, because like I just know the time that I've spent sending emails, not getting responses back. One of my favorite responses that I still get to this day is, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not working on any collaborations at the moment. I know what that means. It just means
yeah. But again, it's not personal, and it's being careful with people's hearts too. Do you know what I mean? This is people's work, and it takes a lot to make yourself vulnerable like that, to put yourself out there. Absolutely. So I really do try and take care with people when they're approaching me, because plus as well, you never know who you're dealing with. You know what I mean? Like you shit on the new people coming up, trust me, they might be taking over you in no time. You know, you should treat people with respect. And yeah, you know, treat people with respect, because, you know, it takes a lot of guts to hit up somebody that you respect and that you really like, and approach them and ask them to work together. So that's already big ratings from me anyway.
No, absolutely. And I think like you shouldn't like encourage it. Do you know what I mean? And when I said like one of the ones that I like to like that makes me laugh when I get is like when people say that to me, not me saying that to other people. I
got that. I got it.
Just to be clear. But yeah, like, and I think you definitely should, because like you could have what somebody's looking for. There are so many people who like they send you stuff. Like I literally have about 15 Boy Wonder beats like on my little laptop, like, because I went to Canada a couple of years ago. There was this guy who hit me up on Twitter, this DJ, and when I was in Canada, he was like, yeah, I'll show you around. Like, he took me to the studio, he introduced me to loads of people. We ended up going to a club and I met Boy Wonder, and then like Drake's Boy Wonder, and he gave me his email address. And this was like the earlier Drake days, like this was a couple of years ago. And he sent me loads of beats, and I went and I recorded over all of them and I sent them back. Never heard anything back, and I listened back to them the other day and I was just like, these are awful. Literally, like, Alex, I might send you one. I might send you one.
Oh no, please.
Honestly,
I'll send you some of mine. I'll send you some of mine.
So awful. But every now and then, even to this day, like, I probably, the last time I probably emailed him was like last year. I was like, hey, because I've got like 2 email addresses for him.
You don't ask, you don't get.
Right, there you go. So always to encourage other people to respond and stuff. And you just never know, like, you might find
I had someone send me an email the other day, and it gets sent so many beats. But the way that he worded the email, like my manager passed it on, but the way that it was worded was so, it was just clear, it was concise. This is a track. I know that you're probably busy, but just want you just to have a listen to it. I listened to it, banging. I wrote to it straight away because it was great. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I will always try and listen to the tracks as well. But it takes a certain track to sort of really say, no, and I'm going to write, I've got something straight away for that.
Yeah.
And we're working on the track. You know what I mean? He's not an established artist. But the track is wicked, and I was speaking to him just on the DMs and just saying, listen, obviously it needs work, but we'll work on it until we get it right. Do you know what I mean? Because I really, really like the track, and I respected the way that he approached me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I thought it was to the point, not sending me a million fucking links. Do you know what I mean? Like, but just, yeah, it all just depends.
Yeah, I got one the other day from a guy in France. And I really wanted to do stuff with the song, and nothing's really come about as yet, but I do still really like it. And it was like, he just drew a picture and attached my music to it that he did, and I reposted it, and then we started talking on Instagram. Wait, I'm going to answer this question in a minute, but yeah, we reposted it on Instagram, and then yes, just started talking, but I haven't managed to find a home for it yet. But it, like you say, like, it was really, really you know, he just messaged me, he just tagged me out of the blue, and we started talking. So sometimes it really does happen like this. Let me see what this question says. Why don't you give a chance to the DJs who want your vocal on their song? Oh, listen to it at least.
I don't know what he's talking to me.
I think, wait. That could be to either of us. Really.
I know. Who are you referring that to? Kobil Yindin? But who are you referring that question to?
We can just call him Cabs. Just give you a nickname.
Yeah, Cabs.
Cabs.
Yeah.
Yes, Alex. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Firstly, the tracks that I've already put out, they're all with record labels, so I do not own them. The way that it works is when you sign a track, you sign the license over to a record label, so they own the master and they exploit it the way that they want to exploit it. So I can't then just go give my vocals to anybody to use, to just do with what they want. I don't own the rights to it anymore. I get a percentage of it, but I don't own the rights to exploit it in the way I would like, if that makes sense.
Hopefully it does. That's a very good point. I hope that helped you out, Cabs, and I'm glad that we were able to give you a nickname. That means it's love. And
as well, if I haven't listened to it at the moment, like I said at the beginning of this conversation, I feel like too little butter spread over too much toast. There's so many tracks in my inbox. I'm trying to make my way through, so I'll definitely try and have a little listen. And I'll try and get back to you, but yeah, I apologize if I hadn't had time.
He said thank you though, so yeah, thank you for sending in your question anyway.
Yeah, all good.
And yeah, Alex is a great soul. So and sometimes, you know, I get lots of stuff too, and sometimes you just can't, you know, like, it takes long to respond. It really does.
And as well, you want to give somebody a fair listen. I don't want to just listen to something once. If someone's done something to one of your tracks, you want to listen to it and you want to actually give it your attention. And if you don't have the time to give it your full attention, I'm not going to give it a little bit, you know.
Even like sometimes you just don't have time and you want to listen to it, right? Because I feel like with my stuff, and I'm sure you felt like this as well, it's like, I know if you listen to it, you'll just hear that it's good enough. Like, it's
yeah.
So
you have to keep at it as well. I think they have to keep at it. Like, you have to keep at it. If you've messaged once and they haven't responded, message again and message again. Like, you just got to keep messaging.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that it comes, because it's just going to go further and further down the thingy. And it's not that I don't want to. It's just I ain't got. Yeah, it's just lost in the mouth.
It's just lost. And be mindful. Like, I think one thing in this industry is that, like, it's not personal. I saw something the other day by Charlemagne the God, and he was like, there are no permanent enemies in business. And I was just like, it's so true.
Yeah, yeah.
If you can work with somebody, if you can make them money, if your idea or your song or your image or your brand or whatever, you could have cussed somebody's mum and dad and grandmother. Book you again.
Yeah.
No,
it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? It's funny, actually, you know, having been doing it for a while, it's funny how things come back around. It's just funny, you know. Again, that's why it's not good to burn bridges. Or, you know, and just, it's important to engage your diplomacy with people. Obviously, there's always sticky situations in politics in pretty much every single release you do. But, you know, learning good skills to navigate in a diplomatic way will save you a lot of burnt bridges, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Reputation is everything, and I always try and lead with that. I think that's the most important thing, to just like be very mindful of your reputation. And it's like, again, it's another balancing act between basically sticking by what you need for yourself, but also like not offending somebody else. But just like, sometimes when you tell people, no, there's a song that I wrote and I vocaled ages ago, but somebody's interested in doing it, they've like reproduced it, and I've gone back to them and been like, look, happy for you guys to use the song, but just it's not for me anymore. And they, like, before that, they called me, emailed me, put me in a WhatsApp group, and then I just responded and was like, you know, thank you so much, it's not for me. I've not heard anything, so I think they're a little bit upset, but you know, like I said,
but people are gonna get upset. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think, in fact, not just myself, I think most people are a bit people pleasery. We want to be liked. We want people to like us and say, aren't you a nice person? So you don't want to say no, but unfortunately, sometimes you have to say no, and sometimes you have to disappoint people. I've been disappointed plenty of times.
Yeah.
I didn't die. I'm still here. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. The world still turns, and you still wake up again the next morning. Life goes on. Do you know what I mean? And it's not the worst thing that can happen to you.
They'll just go on as well, and they'll just find somebody else, and maybe they'll use the song, and maybe they won't. But exactly. You know what your journey is and what your goal is. You know. So I know we kind of first started talking about how you got into music, and you were talking about the drum and bass guys. So we're gonna go back there. But Kim has asked, have we already discussed fibroids? We have, Kim, but I suppose
if you have any specific questions, Kim, then fire away.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we're just kind of batting around, and just this was me and Alex in our session the other day, just going off on tangents. So please, guys, feel free to be involved in the conversation. Feel free to add to submit any questions, and we'll happily answer them about music, fibroids, love, hair.
In terms of my journey into the music. Okay, so I did that first track, and I used the facilities. Back then it was like CDs, so I just made a CD of tracks, just recording my voice, just got my voice down. A friend of mine who was in my halls of residence, big up Carly, she is from London, and my sister was at university in London at the time as well. Her little sister was having a barbecue, and she said, oh, while you're in London, why don't you come over, bring your sister? So I went over. Now, her little sister just so happened to be going out with Danny Weed of Roll Deep. And so Danny Weed was there, and so was Target, DJ Target. And there's me with my CD in my back pocket. See, stay ready, bro. Stay ready. And I was like,
stay ready, yo.
Stay ready, stay ready. Like, yo, man, I made music. What you saying? Like, they said, oh, well, let's put it on. So I played them a couple tracks, and they were like, this is sick. We're literally going to the studio tomorrow. We're working on our first album. They're like, come down. Why don't you jump on one track? I said, okay, great. Went down, smashed it. And that was intimidating as well, because it was just little old me and the whole of Roll Deep, just very big. It was a sausage fest. It's just like all these boys, although they were lovely, really, really lovely. Went down, was supposed to do 1 track, ended up being on 3 tracks on the album. And yeah, I think like a couple of weeks later, Wiley called me and it was like, oh wow, man, this is sick, come down, like come down to London. So I was back in Leeds at that point. So I came down. I was meant to meet up with him, actually. I think he was meant to meet me at the train station. Tried phoning him, he didn't answer his phone. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this is Wiley.
So I think I phoned Danny Reid and I was like, what's going on? I've come all the way to London. Da, 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 da. And he was like, calm down, we'll come to the station. And him and Target came to the station and they were like, we had a chat and just, yeah, we talked and they said, well, look, why don't you sign to a production deal with us, with me and Danny? We're actually really organized. So I signed a production deal with Danny and Target, and basically they just committed to making a body of work for me and approaching labels and publishers over about the period of a year to 2 years. My sister coincidentally lived around the corner from them as well, so it was really nice to be engrossed in the grime scene as it was sort of, it already started, but as it was really taking off. You know, there was like Risky Roads and Practice Hours that Darren was doing, and it was so exciting to just be around. And it's weird as well because I never really made any grime tracks. I made a couple tracks just with Darren that we just put with Target that we put out that ended up being on Wiley's album, one of Wiley's albums. And so I was kind of like attached to and associated with that scene without actually doing any music of that nature kind of thing, other than the Roll Deep stuff. And then, so they got me a deal. They got me a record deal with Brown Punk, which is Tricky of Trip Hop's label, who's a part of, is it Massive Attack? Yeah, Massive Attack, part of Massive Attack. And also a publishing deal with Blue Mountain, which was owned by Chris Blackwell. So he had Bob Marley and the Wailers, U2. So literally really exciting time to be like signing a record deal. And I put my first record deal, first publishing deal. So did the body of music for that, and I had some success with the publishing. I got on like a sync to an American TV series, which was amazing. Did later with Jules Holland, toured with Tricky, so it was really fun.
Wow.
But unfortunately, nothing came of the music. The label went under before anybody could release any music, frustratingly. So I mean, I got to keep the money, which is great. But yeah, it was frustrating, feeling like I'd sort of wasted time. But again, it wasn't wasted because it helped me really hone my craft and you know, really sort of get used to being in the studio and writing and stuff like that. And then having done that, things just sort of trickle on from one thing to the next. So after doing like the Roll Deep stuff, I ended up doing stuff with Retro 32 and then with Tinchy Strider, and then sort of more Gets, do you know what I mean? Like, so did more stuff in the urban world, and at the same time I was just really wanting to do a lot of the sort of singer-songwriter stuff. I've got a lot of acoustic stuff. Some of it you can find like on YouTube, which I really love. It was quite cheeky at the time and just fun and just happy and just vibey. So that was really good, again, just to sort of hone in on my my writing skills. Then I had the track Something Special came out, which was with Miguel Campbell, who's the guy I know from Leeds. And it was a really seminal track, you know what I mean? It kind of came at the time where house music had just really started coming out again, or becoming sort of a little bit more mainstream. Yeah. And so it really just, timing wise, it was amazing. And then from there, I went on and did stuff with like No Artificial Colours and Hot Since 82. My sister, I actually know Hot Since 82 because my sister is a DJ, and she introduced me to him at the time. And she was like, Alex, you should definitely jump in with Daly. He was big. He's already big then, but you know, still building as well. And I remember him sending me the first track. I think it was Shadows, and I loved it so much, and I sent it back straight away, and he was like, this is amazing. And I was like, I know. And we just, you know, grew a really nice working relationship and continued to work together. I've done like 3 albums with him now, and pretty much 2 tracks on each. Yeah. So we just work, you know, his sound and my writing and vocal work well together. And then again, it's like just in terms of having those early house chops, in terms of the sort of the new wave of house music, just the next thing's trickled on to the next thing, really. And so then obviously work with Sonny Fodera and go on, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, like, it's really quite surreal for me listening to this, right? Because like when I was doing my research on you and stuff, like there were just like little bits here and there, right? Because I obviously, like, I don't know the full story, but there were so many people that, like, names that you've mentioned that we have like crossed paths, and then I think it's really interesting the way you were like, oh, like the funky house scene was happening, and like you tried to get in with that, and then being known for being a part of Roll Deep without being a part of Roll Deep, and just being like in that situation where like that wasn't
like a little cousin, like industry cousin. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm known as like, I don't even, like, maybe like the princess of funky house, or like the queen. For
sure, 100%. Like, yeah, no, I would say that. I would say so.
But that was not like, if you go on not Instagram, what's it called? Spotify now. There's the original version of Go is like a slow R&B song. Like but it got remixed by her crazy cousins. Like my manager at the time, he sent it to their manager, and long story short, that's my legacy. That's my current legacy. And then the fact that you were discussing about doing like a lot of singer-songwriter stuff and acoustic stuff, and that you weren't there, but I was talking to Lloyd when he left, at the end of the session, and and was playing him like my artist stuff, and he was just like, let's just do more dance and and I was just like, no, but my heart is in like the songwriter stuff. And it's so just listening to what you're saying and stuff, because one of my questions was going to be what led you into electronic house dance music, but you've really gone across the board, and I really wonder, like, is your heart in acoustic music, or is it in-house?
My heart is in-house music. See, this is the thing as well, like my sister has been DJing since she was 16. And so we've always, like, garage, we started off with really garage, house and garage. You know, I'm from like Sun City days. But that's when I was sort of old enough to go out to play. But I have grown up since like 13, 14, being obsessed and in love with house music, but classic and like, you know, US garage, you know, like I remember actually the track that I've just done, Keep Pushing.
Love that song.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's actually a remake of a track, and there's a program that used to be on MTV called The Grind. Don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called The Grind. It's basically all these Americans at spring break dancing around a pool, but they used to play the sickest house tunes, like the best house tunes. And I never knew what this track was, but on this video, we just had this video of it, and we used to play it over and over again. And the original is Keep Pushing by Boris Delagoche. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And I can't even remember how old I was at that point, but I was just, So my heart has always been, well, you know, there's a couple of places in my heart, you know what I mean? Like there's a couple of rooms. There's a smoking room. There's the smoking room. The main room is house. The main room is, but you know what? I actually try and encompass all those things when I write house tracks. Particularly the ones that are a bit more dark, which I love because you can be a bit more abstract and interesting with your writing. When it's more commercial, sort of mainstream, just get to the point. Don't be too interesting. Repeat the verse and repeat the, you know what I mean? Just repeat. So, and it's great. That in itself is a skill, to be able to be, you know, formulaic and just get to the meat quickly and do something that people like. You know what I mean? That people can really, that a lot of people like. But I really like with Shout It Back, for example, the one that I did with Got Some. I liked it, you know, getting to exercise my writing chops on that. Why do you have to chat shit? You don't have to chat shit. You can say something interesting. Actually, some of my favorite singers, Monique Bingham, there's a song called We Had a Thing. Fucking hell. She's got, sorry, I'll stop swearing.
I know, it's fine. I think we can swear. Fuck shit.
Okay, cool. In that case, I'm joking. Yeah, Monique Bingham. For any songwriters out there who love house music as well, go and check out the song We Had a Thing.
Wait, I'm gonna write this down.
Yeah, oh my god, the writing is just insane. She has it. I got to interview her actually back in the day once, and I was just like, oh my god, oh my god. And I asked her what this line was because I couldn't understand it, but she went, dishwater brown, tall and fine, you had a simple thing about you, I couldn't live without you. Right. Oh, dishwater brown, like who refers to someone's complexion like dishwater brown, tall and fine? Woo, child. Sorry.
Very so beautiful lyrics, absolutely very poetic. Yeah. But you know, a lot of house, I think, and also this is like a misconception, and this is something that like I've grown into, because like when I first started doing music, I was like, you know, house songs, like they're so throwaway and da-da-da-da, but there's a real skill to it. Like there's like some of the songs lyrically, some of them not, but some of them, when you break them down, like this song that you're talking about, for example, the lyrics are so beautiful, like so well written, the melodies, it's such a skill.
But accompanied with uplifting music and a tempo that you just can't not tap your foot, you just can't not dance to house music, to good house music. There's another one as well, Home by Julie McKnight. The lyrics to that song, sometimes it makes me really emotional, like, because it's just, oh, so good, so good. And it's also like, where every time you listen to it, it's like the gift that keeps on giving, because you can either get lost in the music and just dance, or you can sit and listen to it and think, that's some of the most poetic shit I've ever heard, ever, and the most spiritual and food for your soul, you know, lyrics. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've had a meal. Do you know what I mean? After listening. So yeah, I like making house tracks that are able to kind of across both those fields, that can appeal to people, but also that are saying something they're still going to stand up in a few years' time, that I feel that I'm interested in, that, you know, if there's somebody, there is the lyricist, that they're going to think, oh, that was interesting, or that was a cool metaphor, I like that. Do you know what I mean? Someone's just going to be that annoying little shit like I was to Monique. So I want someone to do that to me. Please, anybody in the chat, do that to me.
Have you worked with any of your idols?
Basement Jaxx. Who else? Who have I worked with as an idol? Do you know what? I mean, I've done so many collaborations now that I think that I'm slowly making my way through everyone. No, actually, do you know who I would love to work with? And it's definitely no secret, but I think as soon as I work with this person, if I die, I'll be good.
Okay.
I'll feel good. And yeah, Todd Edwards, 1,000,000%. I think his brain is just beautiful. I think that I think he's magic. I think he's literally not of this world in terms of his catalogue. Yeah, I just think he's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the aim.
That's the goal. Yeah, if I get to work with him, the rest, I'll be over the moon. Of course.
Yeah,
but
I mean, we're always grateful. But there are some people.
Oh yeah, no, but he's my top. He's my top. You're right.
Yes. Oh my day! I didn't even move. I did not even move.
The spirit.
I'm telling you, it's the energy. It's the energy in the room. Talking like, and you know, it's so funny because like when you were talking about house music, I could see just the light in your face, in your eyes, and just like it was actually just really beautiful. It's beautiful to watch, and like music can really do that. Like you can listen to something and it will just take you back to a point in time, good, bad, different. Like you literally can feel the same thing that you were feeling maybe 10 years ago or 6 months ago, or do you know what I mean? Like it's so encapsulating, and I think that
it's magic.
Like, I don't know about you, but with the songs that I write, sometimes we have our own music, being the creators of it, right? There's so much politics that go on behind the scenes, and sometimes that can overshadow the song. But when you realize, when you get one and it hits and it touches people and they're like, oh my days, I love that song, like da, 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 and in your head you're just like, I hate that song, I hate the producer, I hate
I definitely have one of those. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? How maybe some of my favorite songs, how like some of their art, how those artists would feel, because I know how I feel about some of my songs, but I'm now learning to like separate. Do you know what I mean? And just being like, wow, like that's really touched people, and to some people, you know, I'm like how I feel about somebody else. That song is how people feel.
Yeah, I like that. There's somebody had this this quote, which is called like the death of the author. That once you put the song out, it no longer belongs to you. It's somebody else's interpretation of that song. It's theirs now. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like sending bottles out to sea and just hoping somebody enjoys the message that you send. You know what I mean? Because sometimes if you meet an artist that's you know, that's written your favorite song and you're like, oh my God, that really touched me and really enjoyed it, and it's like, what did you mean by this? And they were like, well, it's just about a trip to McDonald's, really. It's like completely ruins your entire relationship with that song. You know what I mean? So it's like, sometimes if it's something that that I've really taken a long time to really give a lot of considered thought to and put a lot of time and energy into the story, then I will definitely go into what it's about. But I like people to have their own idea of what something's about, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Because songs like, you know, my dad is he used to be like a producer and a manager like back in the day, and whenever I would like write a song or whatever, he would always be like, it's not your song, nobody cares about what you feel about the song, nobody cares about your opinion. Like, imagine being like 13 or 14, like I'm writing this song about this boy who's broken my heart, and that's like, nobody cares, it's not your song. It's like, it is, it's mine, it's mine.
Oh God. But you can get like that. They do feel like your children, don't they? You know?
It's absolutely like when someone's like, oh, what's your favorite song? And it's just like, they're all my babies. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think for me, one of the things that I've really learned, I've done so much growing over the last couple of years, like just in life, in work, in music, whatever. And one of the things that like I've made such peace with like Go and like my feelings on that and like how it came about, and because honestly, like even to be part of Flowers, only because Nathan loves Go. Like honestly, like he almost manifested it. Like one of his friends told me that they were working together. Nathan was like, oh, I really want to work with Malika on this. And that the friend called me that evening and was like, yeah, whatever. I don't remember this at all, but it was years ago. And then a couple of years passed. Nathan then got his deal with Atlantic, and then they somehow got in contact with me to do Cheating, and then off the back of that, Nathan and I built up a friendship, and then he asked me to do Flowers. But all of it stems from the fact that I did Go. Do you know what I mean? You know, I don't know if you feel like this, but there is a part of me that wonders, just in general about life, what other type of what my life would look like without Go. It probably would have been me coming out of uni and then just singing in bars and struggling and working in like a telemarketing.
I don't know. I don't think so. You know, and trust me, I understand how difficult it is to get into the music industry, but I always use this saying, and it's my dad's saying, and it's literally my favorite. If you stay in the barbershop long enough, you get a haircut. And I truly believe that. Because yes, it does take more than just being a good singer. You have to have hustle. You have to do, you know, if you don't know anybody in the music industry, or you didn't get a break from an early age, get on the internet and do some research. Like, you know, figure out what's the best route. And in actual fact, if anybody is listening, you know, a good thing to do is to hit up a music solicitor. They're the ones that know everybody. They know all the record labels. They know all the publishers. That's the best place to start. Get a body of work together and then go to a music solicitor and say, I want representation. Can you at least just listen to this? Do you know what I mean?
That is
where there is a will, Yeah. I wish I'd have known that from much earlier on. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not the gatekeepers, but they're the life and soul of the party. If we're going to use that, do you know what I mean? Like they know everybody.
Yeah.
They know everybody. They know where you're going to be best, and they know all the managers as well.
Absolutely.
So if it's a manager you want, or you want a record deal, or you want a publishing deal, get a good solicitor.
The music solicitors. And also, I think to myself, like, I feel like I was either born like 10 years too early or like 10 years too late, because I would love to be like coming up now, and the stuff that you could do with technology, just like on your phone and stuff. Like when Go came out, like we didn't even have Instagram. Like I think we barely had that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like just to imagine the culture. I mean, and the culture was huge then at the time or whatever, but even the same with you. But you know, and I'm grateful that I'm able to do this now. But then another part of me is like, maybe I was born 10 years too late as well, because I do love like SWV and Brandy and 90s so much. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
but that music's always there. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's different to going out to the clubs and hearing that music and listening to that music for the first time.
I would want to be with them. Like 10 years too late. I'm in the wrong country, okay?
Hey, Coco, what you say?
I would die.
Can you imagine?
I would die. I would literally
Can
die.
you imagine? Can you imagine? I don't think that there is a singer, you know, who hasn't sung the ass out of Week. Do you know what I
No.
mean?
I think I won my first. I won my first talent contest when I was about 5, singing Week by SWV.
It's just it's a must have on your play. It's a rite of passage
for any singer.
It's a rite of passage. It's a right, absolutely. God, they're so good. So
phenomenal. Did you watch the verses with them and Escape the other day?
You shitting me. I didn't even know it was existing. I need to go find that straight away.
Yeah, it was good. I literally was like SWV, and then I think Escape won. Like
that cat. I'm leaving.
Okay, all right, bye. Thank you so much. No,
go on.
Me and my cousin, we literally were having this conversation, and I was like, do you know who SWV, like my cousin's a little bit younger, like SW, like it's impossible. Do you know what I mean? Like Escape are great. Yeah. But when you watch it, SWV, like they came ready to win. Like they just did, and SWV were like a bit more chilled with it. But you'd have to watch it. Just
I will. Definitely. I'm gonna have to watch that straight after this.
Yes, go.
Oh no, go on.
Oh no, I was going to say, We Are Hampsons have said that we need you for a song. Your voice is amazing.
Who said that?
We Are Hapson.
Hapson. Said what? Alex, we need you for a song.
We need you for a song.
Thank you very much.
Your amazing voice.
Thank you. Send me some bits in the DMs.
In the DMs. Alex resides in the DMs. And also Nikki, we're just gonna say Nikki. She asked what the name of the song was, and it was Monique Bingham who had a thing.
Yeah, we had a thing by Abstract Truth, but the singer is Monique Bingham, and her whole, if you listen to all of her tracks, she's a really great writer. But that particular song is called We Had a Thing, and it's by Abstract Truth. And also check out Home by Julie McKnight.
Perfect. And I will put it in the caption as well. So and also when you were talking about Target as well, did you read his book?
I did. I'm in it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, no, I've literally, I've read it. But it's one of the most amazing books, like cultural books. I can't stop talking about it. It's such a phenomenal book.
Grandkids, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. It's literally, it's been insane to watch his ascension as well. Because he was on Rinse when we first met.
Yeah.
And again, him and Danny, they have always sort of felt like, Danny was one of my best mates. You know what I mean? Like we're all still, I'm definitely still close with Danny. I don't speak to Darren as much, but they felt like industry older cousins, you know what I mean? And it's mad to see his ascent, you know, to go to One Extra and now to be doing this big hip hop thing. He's just got a new show as well. What's it called, the hip hop thing again that he does?
Is that the one with
the Rap Game?
Yeah,
Rap Game.
Conan. Yeah, Rap Game. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. Wow, absolutely smashed it. Insane. Well done, Darren.
Yes.
Target.
Honestly, I mean, I feel like we could talk forever. It's actually 7:15, so we've been on this live.
Oh my God, wow. Yeah, we have been talking forever.
We really have, and I just love you so much, Alex. And
I love you too, my darling.
Honestly, like, just like I said, when I saw your post, I was so touched, you know what I mean? Just something drew me to reach out to you, and I think everything happens for a reason. And I think us meeting everything happens for a reason. Me seeing that post, us doing this live. I do want to ask you, like, what do you feel like we, in regards to like the fibroids and your experience, just before we go, like, what do you feel like we need to make women more aware of, or Black women more aware of? And if you like, you don't have all the answers, do you know what I mean? But just having walked that line and had that experience, would be great to know.
Do you know what, I did feel quite lonely within my situation, not because of a support system missing, but that I didn't feel that there was anybody around me who'd experienced it, and so didn't really understand. I later found out that 2 of my aunties and a couple of family members have actually had it, but again, only through talking about it do you kind of find that out. However, I did find a couple of groups on Facebook. There's one called Fibroids UK and another one which is based in America. They were I literally felt such a big weight off my shoulder once I joined them. And they're private groups, you know, you have to ask to join. But there are just, again, it's so many women sharing their experiences, and they're all so varied and different. But so supportive of each other. Like, you know, often, I didn't do this, but like, they would post pictures, I'm going in for my surgery today, wish me good luck. And they were all wishing each other good luck, and just a real sisterhood and real support system, you know. And as I said, it's not to say that I don't have wonderful and supportive people around me, but the difference is that they don't really have any reference, do you know what I mean? So to have that community of people, again, that you don't know, you can feel like you can speak a bit more freely and just be honest about your personal experience, was priceless. And, you know, I urge anybody who's suffering with it, or just experiencing it, or frightened about it, to go onto one of those groups, because it's been so helpful. Helpful.
I've written it down, so I'm going to tag all of this in the description box, just because I think it's important to share. And I'm sure there are so many women out there who, you know, have felt lonely, and a lot of the time I think we're in a space now where we are talking about a lot of things, you know, race, sexual abuse, general abuse, do you know what I mean? Like loads of stuff, mental health. And I think that sometimes we don't even know the disservice that we're doing to our friends and our peers around us by just not speaking, like not thinking that we have a safe space, or what we're experiencing isn't going to impact somebody else. So yeah, I'm definitely,
I think it's difficult because, like, there is a line, isn't it? Or there was a line of how much to share online, you know, I mean, and we, you know, it sometimes can cross that line of oversharing, hence my comment earlier on, it's gonna but then, having said
that's gonna make the
you bitch, don't Nah, I'm good with it, honestly. Do you know what, I would rather walk through life as myself and being real, and I'm good with it. I don't care.
I saw something the other day that said, I'm here just being myself because everybody else was taken, and I'm going to use it as a caption on one of my one of my posts. But no, absolutely. And just, I don't know, I feel like I could just talk to you all evening. We're gonna have to go to drinks or dinner or something.
Definitely. I saw you drinking cocktails the other day. I was like, oh girl, I need to get in with her.
I'm gonna actually DM you after this and we will sort out a time. But thank you so much.
Well, I hope that's been helpful, and my absolute pleasure. And thank you for having me, Malika. You're an absolute love.
Thank you, honestly. Have a lovely rest of your week. Thank you so much for being here, and I will definitely see you soon. Oh wait, hold on, I'll send you a demo on your DMs. Thank you so much. Love you, girl. Yeah, love you too. They're going
Love you too. Thank you.
The music. Bye,
Bye.
Alex. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
How do you do this? Every time I'm like, how do you do this? I think Alex has gone, guys. Just want to thank you once again for joining us for Malika Talks. I will be back next month with another special guest. Thank you so much, She Said So, for the platform and the opportunity to do this. And I will see you guys next month for another Malika Talks. Enjoy the rest of your week. Tomorrow is Friday. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you guys so much. Why?